Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Brook YB back with another book review. Today, we're diving deep into The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F** C tick by Mark Manson. Now, this ain't your typical self-help book with rainbows and butterflies. Manson keeps it 100% real, talking about life's struggles and how to deal with them. We all face problems, right? It's part of life. But Manson says our obsession with happiness all the time is actually screwing us up. He's like, yo, stop chasing happiness 24/7. It's the struggle that makes life meaningful. This book is all about choosing your battles wisely. It's about figuring out what truly matters to you and saying screw it to the rest. It's about accepting the good with the bad and learning to navigate this crazy thing called life. So let's break it down. Manson starts by challenging the conventional wisdom that we should always be positive. He argues that the constant pursuit of positivity is actually a form of avoidance. Instead of facing our problems head-on, we try to mask them with a facade of happiness. This, he says, is not only unrealistic, but also unhealthy. By acknowledging our limitations and embracing our fears, we can lead more authentic lives. Manson uses a lot of humor and blunt language to get his points across, which makes the book both entertaining and thought-provoking. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. Life is hard, and that's okay. It's through our struggles that we find our strengths. He talks about the importance of setting boundaries and not wasting time on things that don't matter. One of the key takeaways from the book is the idea of not giving a F*** about things that are out of our control. Manson suggests that we should focus our energy on what we can change and let go of the rest. This doesn't mean being indifferent or apathetic. It means being selective about where we invest our emotional energy. We all have a limited amount of time and energy, so it's crucial to prioritize what truly matters. Manson encourages readers to define their values and live in alignment with them. This might mean making tough decisions and letting go of certain relationships or pursuits, but it's all part of living a more meaningful life. Another important concept in the book is the idea of taking responsibility for our own lives. Manson argues that we often blame external factors for our problems, but true empowerment comes from owning our choices and actions. By taking responsibility, we gain the power to change our circumstances. The book also delves into the concept of failure and how it's an essential part of growth. Manson emphasizes that failure is inevitable and should be embraced rather than feared. It's through our failures that we learn and evolve. In the end, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F** is a refreshing take on self-help. It's not about achieving constant happiness or avoiding pain. It's about finding meaning in the struggles and focusing on what truly matters. So if you're tired of the same old self-help advice and looking for something real, give this book a read. It's a game changer. Remember, it's not about giving up, it's about giving a F** about the right things. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep it real and keep it meaningful. Manson breaks down this not giving a F** thing in a way that's actually pretty deep. He dives into the philosophy of caring less about the trivial things that often consume our daily lives. It's not about being indifferent to everything, but rather about prioritizing what truly matters. He ain't saying to be a reckless jerk, you feel me? It's more about understanding that our time and energy are finite resources. We can't afford to waste them on things that don't add value to our lives or bring us genuine happiness. It's about being selective with your energy. Imagine your energy as a currency. You wouldn't spend it all on things that don't give you a good return, right? The same goes for your emotional and mental energy. He talks about this idea of having a limited number of F** to give. This means you have to be mindful of where you invest your emotional resources. It's about making conscious choices and not letting external pressures dictate your priorities. You've got to choose what you care about and what you're willing to let slide. This isn't about neglecting responsibilities, but about focusing on what truly aligns with your values and goals. This resonated with me, man. It made me rethink how I allocate my time and energy. I realized that stressing over every little thing was draining me and keeping me from enjoying the moments that really matter. We waste so much time sweating the small stuff, things we can't even control. It's like we're on this endless treadmill, running but not really getting anywhere. Manson's approach is about stepping off that treadmill and taking control of our own pace. Manson also drops some knowledge about accepting responsibility for our own lives. This means acknowledging that while we can't control everything that happens to us, we can control our reactions and decisions. We can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. This shift in perspective is empowering. It puts the power back in our hands and allows us to navigate life with a sense of purpose and direction. It's about owning our choices and their consequences. When we take responsibility for our actions, we gain the freedom to shape our own destinies. This is the essence of Manson's message: to live a life that's true to ourselves, free from unnecessary burdens and full of meaningful experiences. One of the most impactful parts of the book is when Manson talks about values. He says, "Your values determine what's important to you, what you'll fight for, and what you'll walk away from." He emphasizes having good, solid values that guide your decisions, not just surface-level stuff, but real, meaningful values like honesty, loyalty, hard work. These values become your compass, helping you navigate through life's ups and downs. Manson encourages us to constantly evaluate our values and make sure they align with who we are and who we want to be. It's about living a life that's true to ourselves, regardless of what others might think. Now, this might sound morbid, but Manson talks about death in a way that's actually pretty motivating. He's like, yo, we're all gonna die one day, so why waste time on things that don't matter? He uses death as a reminder to appreciate the present moment and not take things for granted. It's about accepting that life is finite and making the most of the time we have. Manson also talks about accepting the suck. Life ain't always gonna be sunshine and rainbows. There will be tough times, challenges, and setbacks, but it's how we handle those challenges that defines us. Section 5, My Reality Check. This book really made me look in the mirror, you know? It made me realize that I was giving too many F***CKs about things that didn't really matter. I was caught up in trying to please everyone and worrying about what people thought of me. Reading this book was like a wake-up call. It made me realize that I needed to focus on my own values and what was truly important to me. I needed to stop sweating the small stuff and start living a life that was true to myself. Section 6, Owning Your Journey. Manson talks about the importance of taking ownership of our own lives. We can't blame others for our mistakes or our circumstances. It's up to us to create the life we want. This resonated with me because I used to blame others for my problems. But reading this book made me realize that I was the only one who could change my situation. I had to take responsibility for my actions and start making choices that would lead me towards a better future. Section 7, The Power of Enough. One thing that really stuck with me was Manson's emphasis on the power of enough. It's a concept that seems so simple, yet it's incredibly profound. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with messages that we need to be more, do more, and have more, the idea of enough can feel almost revolutionary. We live in a society that's constantly telling us we need more money, more possessions, more validation. Advertisements, social media, and even our own social circles often push us to believe that our worth is tied to our achievements and our material wealth. But Manson challenges this idea. He argues that the relentless pursuit of more can actually lead to less satisfaction and more stress. By always chasing after the next big thing, we often overlook the value of what we already have. He says that true happiness comes from being content with what we have. It's not about settling for less, but rather recognizing that what we have is already enough to make us happy. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating. It's about appreciating the present moment and finding joy in the simple things, whether it's a beautiful sunset, a quiet moment with a loved one, or just the feeling of the wind on your face. These small moments can bring immense joy if we allow ourselves to fully experience them. This really resonated with me because I used to be caught up in the rat race, always striving for more. I thought that if I just achieved that next goal or acquired that next possession, I would finally be happy. But the truth is that happiness was always fleeting. But this book made me realize that I already had enough. It was a wake-up call that shifted my entire outlook on life. I started to see the abundance in my everyday life, things I had previously taken for granted. I had my health, my family, and my passions. These were the things that truly mattered, and they were already in my life. I didn't need to chase after more to find fulfillment. and that was more than enough. Embracing the power of enough has brought me a sense of peace and contentment that I never thought possible. It's a reminder that sometimes the key to happiness is simply appreciating what we already have. Section 8. So, should you give a F***C? Look, this book ain't for everyone. It's raw, it's real, and it's definitely thought-provoking. But if you're ready to challenge your perspective on life and learn how to focus on what truly matters, then I highly recommend giving it a read. It's not about being heartless or indifferent. It's about choosing your battles wisely and not wasting your energy on things you can't control. It's about living a life that's true to yourself, even if it means going against the grain. Section 9. Brook YB's final word. The subtle art of not giving AF***C is more than just a self-help book. It's a guide to navigating the complexities of life and finding meaning in the midst of chaos. It's about accepting the good with the bad, owning your choices, and living a life that's true to yourself. Manson's writing style is raw, honest, and often hilarious. He doesn't sugarcoat anything, and he's not afraid to challenge your beliefs, but that's what makes this book so refreshing and impactful. It's a must-read for anyone who's feeling lost, overwhelmed, or just needs a little reminder to not take life too seriously.